Shedeur Sanders out at mini camp today. This one right behind him. Completion to Harold Fannin. Couple of rookies hooking up as OTAs underway in Berea. Welcome back to Sports4CLE. Kimberley Martin, ESPN's Get Up, on Shedeur Sanders and his chances of landing the starting quarterback job with the Browns.
In that building, there are people who believe Shedeur can 100% be the starter of this football team. You said it's incumbent upon the Browns to put him in a situation. It's also incumbent upon Shedeur to do the work, which talking to people in that building, they have said he is soaking up everything like a sponge in the QB rooms, talking to Flacco, wanting to learn. And also, let's not forget Dillon Gabriel. We spent a lot of time talking about Shedeur, but Dillon Gabriel is a guy who was drafted in the third. One source said to me, he is everything you want in a quarterback. He's just small. If he were a little taller, a lot of people would be looking at Dillon Gabriel a little differently. At least that's how they feel in their building.
Let's welcome in Tim Bielik from the Plain Dealer, cleveland.com. Tim is a 5'9" guy. I get it. If you're Dillon Gabriel, you're used to being the size you are, and you want to compete. You can't tell at this point if his size is a detriment. You won't be able to tell, I don't think, probably until preseason, maybe some of the joint practices.
Yeah, that's really going to be the first gauge of it. You know, maybe even as soon as when we see the pads come on at practice, that might be the first time you can really look at it and get a gauge for, you know, what kind of size limitations that a guy like Dillon Gabriel could have. I mean, Kevin Stefanski basically said, I think the Browns basically said, you know, when they drafted him that the size didn't show up on film. And in a lot of ways you could see that based on the way he plays. But, you know, the NFL is just a different animal, obviously. And there's so much of a bigger challenge on those shorter quarterbacks with Dillon Gabriel. And going back to what, Kimberley Martin was saying about Shedeur, it seems like he's done and said all the right things ever since he got drafted. I felt like, I personally believe that he's got first round talent, no question about it. But him starting, I wouldn't be stunned if he starts at some point this season. I just don't think it's going to be week one, just because when you look at the schedule that the Browns have this season, when you can make an argument that going to Pittsburgh is one of the easiest games in that 6-game schedule, I mean, that tells you just what kind of gauntlet it is for any quarterback. And you can 100% understand the reasoning with the veteran winning there. That would, I don't know if that would handicap the competition more towards the veterans, just the start of the season, but it certainly doesn't help Shedeur's case to win the starting job if he plays well enough over these next couple of months.
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski is going to play who he thinks gives them the best chance to win for the foreseeable beginning of the schedule, and we'll go from there.